This Charleston inside of a juvenile facility. All right, there go. That's him. That's Charleston speaking inside of a juvenile. Now, normally they don't let people bring cameras. Now listen. They normally don't let you bring cameras, in here. So, here go a Sylvia interview with Charleston White. So here go an interview with Charleston White. Motor restriction. Look at all that. Hold on, let's go. That's one. So that's one interview. Let's keep going. Here goes the Statesman. Let's click on that. That's the capital of Austin, I think. Oh no, that's Hype Youth Outreach. Boy. They say, well, he said, well, I don't know what he do. I ain't did no research. Well, y'all, let's do some research. Let's go to page 2 on Google. Well, look at that right there. Charleston White, Texas Juvenile Justice System. There go another one. Texas Juvenile Justice saved my life. Well, there go another one, y'all. I guess these dumb motherfuckers can't read. Well, let's keep going. Let's keep going. Charleston White Network. Offenders. The Texas Tribune. Let's click on that. I think this is based out of Austin. Ooh, Jonathan Silver, Texas Tribune. Boy, look what we got there. Is that Charleston? That's Charleston right there, ain't it? Yeah, that's him. That's old Charlie boy. So go up. This is the Austin Statesman. So we're going to keep going down. We're going to keep going down because it's a long article. It's a long article. It's a long article. So we want to get to the part where they talk about Charleston. Oh, they don't talk about Charleston in here? Nope, they don't talk about, oh, yeah, it is. White, a college student, father and husband, in using his plight and success as an example. He bowed before the Giddings Pass students, current students. This is what redemption looks like 20-something years later. Oh, that's what they said about Charleston. He bowed before the kids. There it go right there, White again. It says, there it go right there, Charleston White again. Oh, I knew I'd find something here on Charleston White. Look what it says. It says, no one, hold on, let me put the arrow on there because I know most of y'all can't read. It says, no one is exempt from God's love. Charleston White, founder of Hyped About Hype Youth Outreach. Hype stands for helping young people excel. Told staff and students at the assembly. White served almost 7 years of a 12-year sentence at Giddings for involvement in a murder when he was 12. I was actually 14. His organization brought the former inmates together for the group's common goal, teaching youth about the dangers of leading a life of crime. He looked at the current youths who call getting state school home. It's not too late for you, he said, meaning Charleston. After the reunion, staff, past and present, lauded White and the others. Oh man, that's just another one, y'all. We gonna keep going there. So that's written in Austin, the capital of Texas. So this right here is News 21. So if you get a chance to Google who News 21 is, you'll really know how big this is a study that they did throughout America. Okay, so this was in 2020. So this was a study. So you see what this is? Charleston White, like millions. So you really have to know about journalism and all of those things of that nature to really understand what News 21 is. If you're a dumb nigger and you watch Love and Hip Hop and listen to rap, you wouldn't know and have an idea who News 21 is. So let's click on the News 21 interview, okay? So it says kids in prison. And this was a big article written July 23rd, 2020. How fatherlessness contributes to juvenile delinquency. So we'll break it down. I'm going to read the whole article for you, okay, guys? It's illustration by Michelle Abercrombie. Charleston White, like millions of American children, grew up in a father-absent home. Although his mother was his main caretaker, he said nothing could replace a father's presence. I know what abandonment is, White says. I know what it feels like to feel unloved. I know what it's like to feel unwanted. I know what it's like to feel rejected as a child. An estimated 19.7 million youth live in fatherless homes, according to the 2017 data from the U.S. Census Bureau. Family structure, specifically single parent or father-absent homes, are factors in a child's overall development and well-being, according to the Annie Casey Foundation. Research from the National Fatherhood Initiative shows that father-absent households are more likely to experience poverty and financial hardships. Fatherless children are more likely to have behavioral issues like depression and engage in illegal activities like using drugs and drinking alcohol. His mother, meaning Charleston, worked long hours to support White and his brother, which left time for the two siblings to get in trouble. White, meaning Charleston White, who is now 43, that was 2 years ago, I'm now 45, said he was eager to find a place where he belonged in search for affirmation from the men in his Arlington, Texas neighborhood. He ultimately became involved in gangs at an early age, committing crimes for acceptance. When I was presented with something to be a part of, whether it was good or bad, I just wanted to be a part of it, Charleston White said. I wanted to have a family, and I felt like I didn't have a family. Gang activity led White to juvenile justice system when he was arrested for murder at the age of 14. He spent 6.5 years in the Texas Getting State School. Charleston White experience is not an isolated one. There are so many children who make mistakes as children because they're in pain, Charleston White said. They do not know how to process the pain. Fatherlessness has been identified as a key contributor to juvenile delinquency, according to a University of California Irvine study. The more opportunities a child has to interact with their biological father, the less likely he or she is to commit a crime or have contact with the juvenile justice system, a Boston College study stated. Tierra Webster, executive director of Damascus Way Reentry Centers in Minnesota, said fatherlessness is one of the top social epidemic this nation is facing, alongside mass incarceration. Fathers matter, and they matter for so many reasons, Webster said. Certain groups are impacted by fatherlessness at a higher rate. Youth of color, meaning poor nigger babies are more likely to live in fatherless households, Webster said. If you break down the data, 2 in 3 black homes, 1 in 3 Latino or Spanish-speaking homes, 1 in 4 white homes are fatherless, Webster said. Edgar Ibarra, a 27-year-old advocate with MILPA, a nonprofit in Salinas, California, said his father was incarcerated for 13 years. This led him to look for male guidance elsewhere. Oh, man, I can go on and read this, but I'll let you dumb niggas read it. But that's by News 21. Now, I don't know if you know who the Walter Cronkite School is, but that's a bad motherfucker. So for me to be documented in that national study, hell of a thing on my resume. But you're a dumb nigga. You don't know. He ain't did no community work. He a industry plant. All you had to do was go to Google, motherfucker. So let's keep going, y'all, because we're going to the 3rd page. We're going to the 3rd page. What else? We're looking for credible articles. Credible articles. I believe Charleston got something with the ABA. I believe we got something with the American. Here go one right here. So we got from guns and drugs to rappers from the Fort Worth Star Telegram. So let's click on that. So we got this from the. They want some money to look at that motherfucker. But let's turn around and look at it. So you see, this is the Fort Worth Star Telegram. So this is the Fort Worth newspaper. You see who that is? Charleston White is the founder of a youth outreach charity named Hyped About Hype, helping young people expel. He speaks to at-risk youth. You see that? Fort Worth Star Telegram. So if you come to this is a webinar. Look what it says. Charleston White, Hyped About Hype, campaign for fair sentencing of youth, outreach and engagement. Let's click on that. See, you niggas ain't done your research. Y'all pulling up all this fake stuff that say I'm 53. So let's look at this. Do y'all see this project was supported by a grant number 2011 MU awarded by you see that? OJJDP. What's that? Office of Juvenile Justice and Delinquency Prevention. Office of Justice Programs. U.S. Department of Justice. Points of view in this document are those of the author. So you see when we done this. So this was the name of the presentation. And this was a national webinar that we did. Prison wardens, school officials, mental health practitioners, law enforcement. So you say defending childhood. So do you see who names is on there? Voices of Formerly Incarcerated Movement. Do you see who names is on there? Charleston White. So let's look at this. So this is a webinar. This is a national webinar that you had to. Do you see that stamp or the seal right there? Department of Justice. So this is who we done this with. So this was a national webinar that I participated in. So this is the federal coordination who was a part of this. Under the U.S. Department of Justice, this is who all participated in this national webinar. See, you dumbass niggas just be talking, my nigga. You dumbass niggas just be talking. So let's keep going. So we go keep going. We go keep strolling. So what are we doing? The goals of this, you see what the goals of this webinar was: prevent children exposure to violence, mitigate. Remember I told you I do mitigating factors of the criminal defense mitigation. Remember I told you guys I mitigate. So mitigate the negative effects experienced by children exposed to violence. Develop knowledge about and spread awareness of this issue. So here we go. Here go the research evaluation. So I hope you guys are looking at this. So keep looking. So we're going to keep going. So this is how you was to call in. So we go keep going. So Just Leadership USA. So they did a presentation. So this guy here did his presentation. So we're going through Just Leadership presentation. So you see all this. So we're going through this outreach and engagement of new members. So y'all just keep watching. So we went to the White House. That's us at the White House. So keep going. Keep going. So that's one of the guys. So keep going. There go Charleston White. There go Hyped About Hype. There go Charleston White. Future Without Violence. So what do we have here? Hyped About Hype, founded in 2012 by Charleston White. Founder, CEO, based in Dallas, Fort Worth. This is all on Google now. If y'all think I'm lying, this is all on Google. Registered with the Department of Justice from the White House. Look what it says. Hype was formed and created through an experience of kids who were raised by the state of Texas Juvenile Justice Department, formerly known as TYC, the Texas Youth Commission, were the first generation of kids in Texas who began to be sentenced for violent crimes such as murder. So when you come to Hyped About Hype Youth Outreach, what do you have right there? Charleston White, the old founder. You got him in the state of Texas. Oh, you lying to me if y'all don't care. Y'all watching, it's almost 200 people. Look who Charleston White right there. So keep going. So on September 18, 1991, at the age of 14, Charleston White and 3 buddies ran out of a shopping mall in Arlington after stealing athletic jackets. During the process, a newlywed Good Samaritan intervened and was shot and killed by White's associate when he attempted to stop them, according to an article in the Star-Telegram written by Bob Ray Sander. White was charged with murder and was sentenced to 12 years. While incarcerated, White joined the gang in order to fit in and be a part of something. Even though White was small in stature, he used his mind to fight his battles. Soon he became the leader of his gang. That's written, that's documented. That's the newspaper right there, Charleston White. That's on the law, that's on the front of the law school. So goddamn me, my life is dedicated to helping young people excel in hopes of preventing another young person from falling down the path I chose, Charleston White. So there go the news articles. 1992. We committed the crime September 18, 1991. They were still writing about us a year later. That's the news articles. That's the news article. That's my victim's name. Michael C. Levy, September 18th. Those are the name of my co-defendants. Quincy Jackson, Dwayne Allen Jackson, and Antoine Doolittle. So we go keep going, boys and girls. Oh, this is what you call showing and proving, not showing and telling. So here we go. There go Charleston, there go Dewberry, there go King Shoe, King Satterwhite, Donnell Rome, and Harvey Hugh. All of us was incarcerated for murder as children. I was considered the worst of the worst as a juvenile based on my behavior while in TYC. But TYC and its staff gave me all the tools necessary in life for me to be productive and succeed in life. I was incarcerated in the Texas Youth Commission from 1991 until 1998. Many of my buddies, meaning these guys, many of my buddies from that era went on to prison on their 18th birthdays, and they're just now coming home. So here they are. You got Jose Rodriguez, sentenced to murder at 14 years old, adjudicated for murder. He was sentenced to 30 years. He served 22 years out of that 30 from the age 14. Jose, I took him. We speaking at a school. Who do we got here? Charleston White and Miguel Mall. We're on the front page of the Fort Worth Star-Telegram. After doing time, ex-offenders. And that's old Charleston right there. So keep going. So this me with Councilman Caraway at a teen summit. So that's me at a teen summit. The Pull 'em Up Sagging campaign. Miss Anna Marie. That's me and Miss Anna Marie. So that was in 2012 at a teen summit. Here go Miguel Mall. Miguel Mall was 19 years old, convicted of armed robbery. He was sentenced to 20 years at 19. He served 19 years on that 20-year sentence for armed robbery. That's us speaking at a school. Gabriel Delgado, age 16. Sentenced to 20 years. Served 15 years on that murder. He done committed another murder. He back in prison. Damon Wiltz, age 14. He received 40 years for murder. He served 22 years on that 40 years. This us speaking to kids after he got out. I took him back. This is the same facility we was locked up as kids. We went back to. I've never been to prison. I've never in my life been to prison. This is Anthony Dewberry. If you notice what I said, go back and read. Look what I said. I stayed in the TYC, Texas Youth Commission, in the boys' home with girls from 91. Many of my buddies from that era went on to prison on their 18th birthdays. Not me. You niggas can't read, but catch up. That's why I'm reading it out loud. So we got Gabriel Delgado. So we got Damon Wiltz, 40 years. At the age of 14, he got 40 years. He spent 22 years in prison. Anthony Dewberry, at the age of 15, he committed a murder. He was sentenced to 28 years. He spent 18 years on that 28 years from age 15. That's us speaking to the same kids. Derek Rashid Burton, age 14, sentenced to 22 years for a capital murder at the age 14. He spent 20 years on that 22 years from age 14. Lionel Clark shot 2 police officers out of Houston when he was a kid, aged 15 years old. He was sentenced to 20 years for attempted capital murder. He served 4 years on a 20-year sentence for shooting two cops. Harvey Hughes, the age 13 years old, he committed a murder. He was sentenced to 20 years. He served his whole 20 years from age 13. That's us speaking to the kids. Maverick Rome, age 14, committed murder. He was sentenced to 35 years. He served 5.5 years on a 35-year sentence for murder at 14. Carwin Archie, age 14, committed a murder. Sentenced to 20 years, served his whole 20 years. Let's go back and read. You can't read. It said, you go back and read. It said attempted capital murder. It says attempted capital murder. He was sentenced to 20 years. He served 4 years as a kid for shooting 2 cops. Attempted capital murder. You can't read. Pay attention. This is why many of y'all is not succeeding in life. You can't pay attention. King Satterwhite, at the age of 15, committed attempted capital murder. He was sentenced to 20 years. He served his whole 20 years. So that's all of us back at the facility that we all grew up in, raised by the state. All of us grew up in the same facility where we was talking to these kids at. So we're going to keep going. So this all us as kids. This all of us as kids. This all of us grown now. This us as kids. So look what it says. 22 years later, these boys grew to be productive men. Rehabilitation and resocialization played a critical role in our lives. So that's us then. This us now. Us then, us now. So we go keep going. So here I am. So this is me in Washington, D.C. That's the Washington Capitol. Now, this is when we was beginning to work on juvenile life without parole, getting it abolished in America. So I was a part of a national organization called I Am a Member of ICANN, Incarcerated Children's Advocacy Network. So this is all of us in Washington, D.C. All of these people, except me, were sentenced to life without parole as children. He had life without parole. He had life without parole. He had life. She had life. This is Sarah Cruzen. So all these kids had life without parole and eventually end up getting paroled on those life sentences. So we all came together, just us right here, all came together to work to get juvenile life without parole abolished in the United States of America. So here we are in Washington, D.C. So her son was murdered. So we had murder victims' families, the mothers of murder victims. They joined in with us. So we went through a national convening where we had to learn laws and legislation. That's me in front of the White House before we went in. That's one of the directors. And that's all us working to get this law passed and pushed right here. Now, all these people didn't have no co-defendants. No co-defendant. She killed her sex trafficker.
Just to be able to show some of the work, you know what I'm saying, that people sit around and speak on and not really have knowledge of, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, it's good to see that, you know, people really just don't really understand. Some of them don't understand, but you know what I came to realize? A lot of people might really do know what's going on, but it's only right that they try to come at you with no facts. So, shout out to my bro, man, for doing what he doing, man. As y'all might see, man, that everything is going the way it's supposed to go. Y'all seeing how everything is going the way it's supposed to go, man. So many people have witnessed the transformation. So many people have watched the change. So many people can still go back and look. Just Google. Just Google it. You know? Google. Y'all know y'all like Google. Y'all know y'all like to Google things. Just Google it and look. And then you'll be able to say, oh, okay. Now, once you do all that, you ask yourself, what do you have to bring to the table? It still come back to what you got to bring to the table. Exactly. So I just keep on doing what I'm doing. We keep on doing what we doing. And as y'all see, man, a lot of brothers done came together. A lot of brothers done came together, man. A lot of brothers done came together, man. all in the name of giving back to the youth. Yeah. So just stay tuned.